and welcome to the SWOB channel, Suffolk Women-Owned Businesses. My name is Sue Hall. My company is Made to Clean, providing domestic cleaners for your home. I also run the Ipswich branch of Wire, Women in Rural Enterprise. And the idea behind the SWOB channel is that we get to showcase some of the amazing businesses that are owned by women here in our wonderful county of Suffolk. I'm delighted this morning to welcome as my guest Elene Marsden. Hello, Elene.
Hello, Sue.
Elene's company is called Better Act Now, and we'll come on to that in a second. So, for the more eagle-eyed viewers amongst you, you may have noticed that little lilt in Elene's voice. It's not from round these parts, is it?
It's certainly not. And actually, when I go back home to Wales and come back to Suffolk, my accent is a whole lot stronger.
You get the whole Gavin and Stacey thing, I imagine, when you're out and about.
Oh, absolutely. Well, at one point, people just didn't know where I was from. But since the Gavin and Stacey programme, I'm now right on the map. So I just say, I'm from Barry. And that's true. Born and brought up in Barry. So it's on the map now. Okay,
so when did you arrive in Suffolk then?
Well, we arrived about 25 years ago and, came up with one son and had two more subsequent children and have really put down roots and just love it here.
Okay, so, and what does your husband do?
Well, he works for the university. He is the sustainability officer for the university in Ipswich and he loves his job and, obviously he works on the doorstep, so it's a very short commute, like a bicycle ride down the hill and where we live.
So you were involved in teaching yourself, weren't you?
That's right. When I first moved up to Suffolk, I actually, had a family and didn't do full-time work, but the little bits of work that I was doing as the family were growing, they were all teaching jobs. So in that time, I've worked in all kinds of different places. I've worked at the West Meadows Travellers site as a teacher. Very, very interesting. I think I got to know, that I was really scared of dogs by working on that site for sure. And I've also worked at St Clement's, worked as a teacher there, teaching basic skills, literacy skills, and I guess my most recent teaching job was working at Chantry. In the high school there, and I worked there for 7 years. Quite an experience, really.
Yeah, I can imagine. 7 years is a long time to spend in any job, really, isn't it? Especially these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what prompted the move then?
Well, when you're in a teaching job, a job as in a secondary school, it really is a job for life. And what happened was, and I was happy there. I had a good teaching job. I was in the sixth form, mostly teaching 16 to 18-year-olds. So this is, it's not compulsory education. You have a little bit of power to say who stays and who leaves, So it was a good job. But what happened, my husband said to me, I'm going to give you this gift. And it was a Christmas gift. And what it ended up being, it was an NLP training course, a 20-day NLP training course, and NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's a way of living your life, it's a way of setting your ambitions and just being very active and being proactive, if you like. And so within about 2 months of me taking this course, it did change my life, because the first thing I did was swept to the head and said, I'm handing in my notice because what I really want to do is have my own business.
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, by the time I'd finished, I had my business. I had set
and
up
before your husband had given you this NLP course, it had never occurred to you to have your own business?
No, it was, well, what do you want? What would you like to do in life? And I thought, the idea of being free and having my own business seems really attractive. And that was it. That's how it started. And that was 10 years ago now. So, and I haven't looked back. And, obviously initially it was quite daunting. I missed that classroom or staff room camaraderie. You share and you connect with other people. And when you work for yourself, it's tough.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we've got a lot of stories about how we try to overcome that. But what I'm curious about is, you had the idea, okay, I want my own company, but did you know what you wanted that company to do?
Well, because my whole background, my whole life is teaching and explaining and helping others to be successful, I guess that there was this idea that, well, you know, I know Office, I know Microsoft Office. You know, I'm guessing there's a lot of people out in business that would love to know how to use their software applications more effectively. And so it was quite a smooth transition, really. It was using the teaching skills, but in the business environment to help other people, you know, use these software applications that, you know, what we use like a small percentage of a software application. You know, probably the tip of an iceberg. So, you know, one of the things that I like to do is not necessarily teach people everything, but what is going to be useful to help your business succeed.
And I think we're all guilty of that, aren't we? We sort of, especially what I call the later generations who weren't brought up with computers, but we've migrated to them quite happily.
Yes,
but there's still that element of, well, all I want it to do is X, Y and Z, and as long as it can do that, and then when we discover that it does something new, we get all excited. So I can really understand how you turned that into a commercial enterprise. It's really good. So who was your first client? How did that happen?
Well, my first client, actually, if I think about it, it's quite embarrassing when I look back to those early days, the things I didn't know. But it was like act as if, you know, I'm the teacher, I know what I'm talking about. And it was a company off the M25, and they organised the glasses. I don't know, the people that manage all, you know, the car listings, and I was training a group of 6 people how to use a piece of software called Maximizer, and that's like a database, and that's what actually led me on to becoming very fascinated by databases and to be getting into the next phase of my business, where I became a Sage Act trainer and reseller.
Okay.
And
which is the core of your business.
That now is the absolute centre of my business. The Microsoft stuff, I still do bits of that, but primarily I really want to help other businesses manage their contacts, have a place to put those contacts, and most importantly, have a way of keeping in touch with them. So that's what Sage Act does. And really, you know, for me, it's having a bit of software that allows me to connect with people, which is what I love doing anyway, you know, because I'm quite a big connector. I do a lot of networking. And the reason why, in a way, I do a lot of networking is that's the way that replaces all that stuff that I lost from teaching, you know, the support from, you know, the staff room. So, you know, the networks I'm part of, and the Wire network in particular, really helps me as a business owner.
Well, I mean, Wire specifically obviously was set up to help women in rural communities as well, so there's that additional problems that women face when they're operating in rural areas, because you know, they don't have good broadband, good mobile phone signals, they are isolated in a physical sense as well as in a professional sense. So it's even more important to do something like that. So, okay, I'm trying to go with your journey here. You discovered ACT, and that was like an epiphany, that was where you were going. And the training side of that is another big part of what you do, isn't it? It's not just selling on and bye-bye.
No, it's not. And in fact, so this NLP gift was one milestone, if you like, in my life. And then a second milestone was when I met a colleague for lunch at the Greyhound, sort of pub orientated, and we had a lovely lunch, and he suggested, well, why don't I record training videos so that instead of me having to be in front of a group of people and training them, I can sell training videos that sell themselves when I'm not there. And it's such a smart business move, because, you know, we've got a finite amount of time. We really shouldn't be selling our time. We should be selling something else that will sell, you know, will work without us. So I came away from there fired up. That was it, and that was when Better Act Now was formed.
Right.
And I, over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been creating training videos that you know, sell on Amazon, sell on my website, and so people who have got ACT, they want to know how to use it, and they want to know when it's convenient for them, they can buy a CD or download a video from my website.
It's a great name for your company. Did that come to you very quickly, or was that over a period of time?
Journo, I can't say that it was me. My lovely husband, this husband has been responsible for one or two things, including 3 kids. He came up with the idea, the name. He said, Better Act Now. And I thought, wow, that is such a clever name.
You just know, don't you? It's like a eureka moment, yeah.
And so, if you search for Better Act Now, I use that as my moniker on all my social media sites, and, it's a good name. It's very specific to ACT, but and I've broadened my horizons a bit right now. But still, I'll still continue to use that because it's so successful.
Well, you've got one of your CDs there, haven't you? Is that this year's one?
That's this year's. That's ACT 2012, and ACT is software that gets released every year.
Okay.
So in September there'll be ACT 2013, and I'll be locking myself away in my recording studio to record them. And the recording studio is really my small office. Over the summer months when I've recorded these videos, I've had all sorts of problems, not least with squawking seagulls. Let me tell you, they are a problem, particularly when they're nesting down the road.
So your little studio office is not soundproof then?
No, I need egg boxes or whatever, I think, but no, it's not. And I close all the windows, etc. But in the summer it can be quite hot. But
so you've done for tutorials there for people to help them improve and get better at. Any other products that you have got training videos on?
Yes, now I've just recently branched out and produced some Excel training videos. So that's 90 minutes of, lots of shortcuts and tips and how to get the very best from Excel.
It says here, 60 insights for busy people. I can see that without my glasses, so I'm not going to try and read anything else off of there.
That's right. And it's all, my voiceover and screenshots of all the tips and how to get the best from Excel. And in the autumn, I'm also planning to produce some new training videos, broadening it a bit really to not just be application related but more in general terms. So, what makes for a successful business: the database, the email marketing and the online presence.
Okay.
So all of those 3 things I think are crucial. So I'm going to produce a product along those lines. Early days yet.
You're very active on social media though, aren't you? I mean, does that must help you tremendously with your business?
Definitely. I think the best social media platform that I use is YouTube.
Right.
I've got a YouTube channel, and it's mostly, I have to say, it is mostly ACT and Microsoft videos, but if you look closely, there's 1 or 2 other videos that are part of what makes me who I am. I've got me singing on there, and I was in Italy in the summer, walking through some beautiful vineyards in Piemonte, and there's me doing a little running commentary going through the vineyards. So if you look closely, there's a few extras thrown in.
So even when you're away on holiday, you're still working, really, aren't you?
Well, I have to admit, you work for yourself. Can you ever be off duty? I mean, I have a full life, but, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm thinking business stuff all the time. And we had this quite a long train journey down to Italy, and I read a small book on the way down on that train journey. And it's so brilliant, this book, and I'm going to be blogging about it because I think it's changed the way I do business. And one of the things I was thinking, well, I'll do a few short little videos when I'm there, and then I'll have a total holiday. So I did. I did the video recording in the first couple of days, and that was it then.
Oh, right, okay. Then you could switch off.
I did switch off.
The rest of the holiday.
I did.
Because I know you also did some in the States when you were on holiday there, didn't you?
I did. There's a marketing guru, and his name is Chris Cardell, and he always has these little video clips with the backdrop of this San Diego beach behind him, and these little snippets of his marketing tips, and I thought, I could do that. So I've got my own version of marketing tips from California, and I did have the beach behind me. Sorry, Chris, but actually he was the inspiration.
I guess you could do it with any. I mean, we're so lucky and blessed in Suffolk with some wonderful places. You could pick a different place every time, couldn't you? And if that's going to be your,
I need to do that. Open to suggestions.
Yes, well, I mean, here in Felixstowe, of course, we've got the Spa Pavilion, the pier. We've got beautiful seafront. I mean,
You've given me the idea. That'll be the next lot.
And something something that is quintessentially Felixstowe, like I don't know, Manning's Amusements or the Martello Towers.
Oh, I love that area. We often walk around there in the Felixstowe docks, the entrance, all the the huge container ships coming in.
So there you go.
Yeah,
you can make a bit of a feature of some of the Felixstowe landmarks.
Watch this space. Check out that YouTube channel, Elene Marsden.
Excellent. Well, I know aside from networking, you also voted the most loved business last year by, what was the name of the website?
Well, actually, it was this year. I am the best loved business in Ipswich 2012, as voted by the Best of Ipswich, which is a franchise. It's an online organisation. And, that was a journey. That was a big journey this year, because I actually made a decision that I was going to be the best loved business, and I just went about then, taking
steps. NLP at work again, is it?
Yeah. It's a bit scary, because in actual fact, when you think about it, it was hard work, but I'd set my intent, and it makes you think, well, what could you all achieve if you set your intent on things? So it was that I was going to be best loved, and I've got a database. I've got quite a few people on my database, and I just sent them emails, and I just asked them, please vote for me, and this is how you do it. And I didn't just ask them once, I have to admit. I asked them 3 times, and it did pay off.
So how many testimonials were you able to collect then?
Overall, I got 120, I believe it was, of fantastic testimonials. People were just willing to help me.
And it was almost neck and neck at the end. It was quite a photo finish, wasn't it?
It was a scary one. I had, Michael Richards, we were neck and neck. We had John Oliver into the fray as well. And, I thought, how am I going to compete with these guys? They've got premises. They've got staff, and it's me. It's me and my database, And I think, the database won, but also I have got a little secret that
I've seen your secret, but I think
is it all right? Can I bring these out? Because this was my secret marketing tool.